Right, we are live. I'm going to make sure that YouTube and StreamYard are talking to each other. There we go. They are talking to each other. So let's wait just a few seconds just to make sure. Uh, so there we go. All right. Welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Deconversion Hangout. This is a more protected space, a brave space, if you will, for those of us that are deconverting, helping people that are deconverting. It's very much a support group for those of you in the process of deconversion, but also a discussion point for people that are deconverting as well. So, welcome. It's something I definitely missed last week. So, um, when you're on vacation with family, it's great, but it's also there's a lot of some of my family members still believe and I do not, and so it creates some awkward conversational moments, especially when you're vacationing in an area where there's a lot of Amish and a lot of God is good signs everywhere. So welcome to the Rabyd Nation, as Triple E reminds us all. Good to see you, Triple E. Appreciate you. Um, so that's kind of where we're at. There is a goal in chat. If we hit that goal, whatever hat has been chosen by the poll, I will wear for the rest of the stream. Although the stream might be a little bit shorter. I took the night off tonight from work, so I can go long. But the reason I took it off is yesterday was a nightmare. I'm working, and this extracted tooth decided to act up last night, so had a hard time concentrating. Have had a hard time sleeping for the last few days because of it, and painkillers that were working aren't working as well. Um, so there's they are. So I'm going to stay on as long as I can before the pain either resurfaces or something. I don't think it's a dry socket, Fred. I've had dry socket before, and today it was just more of a. Last few days, it's just been like my whole mouth aches, like it just aches, like it wants to be over. So, luckily I can still talk, but eating has been a real challenge because it hurts to eat. So, uh, so there's that. But no, I don't think it's a dry socket. I've had dry socket before when all four of my wisdom teeth were removed. I had one of them go dry socket, and that's pain you don't forget. So, but this last week has really been by a biblical plague. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Who's died this week? Malcolm Jamal Warner of The Cosby Show died. He's a year younger than I am. So, Tony, yeah. Let's see. We had Ozzy die Tuesday. Hulk Hogan died today. I've got another appointment with my dentist on Monday. He's supposed to work on another tooth, but we'll see what happens. Oswald. Yes, Hulk Hogan died. Oswald died. Oh, man. But yeah, there's like five. There's a musician that died today, too, that's kind of famous. There's like five of them this week. So, and just kind of a hard week for celebrity. So, Oswald Osborne. Oh, nobody really knows my Uncle Oswald. I people joking about people dying. I'm like, I know the people involved, and they would probably joke about it too. I'm fairly certain. I mean, I know Ozzy Osbourne joked about his death all the time, so the fact that people are laughing at his expense, I think, would tickle him to no end. So, but I do miss. Um, I mean, I grew up with a lot of these people. Like Hulk Hogan was the only reason there was when I was a kid. That was a reason to watch wrestling. And later, when he was Hollywood Hulk Hogan, it was something that I watched because of who he had become. And you know, the, I don't know. The writers were better of wrestling back then than they are today. And then Ozzy Osbourne. During the satanic panic of the 80s with all the churches, Osbourne was like one of their favorite targets. Like, he's biting the heads off bats and he's worshiping Satan and all this other crap. And it's like, oh my God. I don't know. Is Chuck still alive? I think Chuck Norris is still alive. So, yeah, Osborne got raked over the coals. Him and Iron Maiden and a few others were big targets of satanic panic back in the day in the 80s. So, what do you mean? It's 6:06. I'm always on at 6. I've been on for 6 minutes. You're late. You figured it out, huh? Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not late. I'm a wizard. I arrive precisely when I mean to. So, but yeah. So, your YouTube didn't refresh. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, YouTube's like that. Sometimes it doesn't refresh. But yeah, so let's see. Yesterday, I met with my therapist. We had a long talk about my vacation, and probably the biggest thing that bothered me about my vacation from a religious standpoint was how religious the area was where I was at. There was Amish people everywhere. I don't think we drove more than a couple miles where you didn't see an Amish person on a bike, and or horse and buggies, the whole bit. And so, reverse it, take two. Okay, I'll accept that. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory references are always accepted here, as long as it's the Gene Wilder version. Yes, they can have bikes because it's muscle powered, even though they have to be made in a factory with electricity and shit. So, but yes, they can have bikes. I don't know. It wasn't just that, but a lot of the businesses there that are tourist trap type businesses, that are going off the Amish thing, you walk into them, and of course, God bless this business, and signs are all over the place. And one store we went into had oodles and oodles of old pictures of, Jesus and Bible stories and all this other stuff. So, it's not muscle power. Well, yeah, the thing about it, Rimmer, is some of these bikes I noticed had the electric motor that allows you to boost them, because some of these Amish aren't keeping in shape riding their bike. I'm going to tell you that. So they had these little electric motors on them that pushed them along, helped kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know. It was just weird seeing so many. We have Amish around here in Michigan too, but it's they're not as common around where I live. But when I'm in this area of central Ohio near Dundee, and there's just a crap ton of Amish there. And I was just talking to my therapist yesterday about how I have a problem with Amish a little bit, because they always talk about how their kids at a certain point get a choice whether to stay or leave, but they put them in a position where leaving is really, really hard. So, you can give them mechanical gearing, but they don't want it. So it was a weird, surreal experience, because it's funny, because the Amish now have to build, when they build houses to sell, they still have to electrify them in order to make them sellable. And so they do that. And then they have this big breaker switch where they can shut them off if they're going to live in the house. So it's Why do you expect the religious to be consistent? I know, I get that, but it's Fred. It's like they'll ride bikes, which are obviously made by factories with electric lights. They have no problem using these things, provided they don't use them themselves. Um, they have cell phones. Okay, like some Amish groups have cell phones, and it's weird because they'll charge them up in their barn because they go about this, don't bring lightning into your house, but it doesn't say anything about a barn or a secondary building. And I know tons of Amish that have like this secondary building that isn't their house where they sleep and live, but it has their charging station for their phones. It has an electrical hookup. It's just strange. Um, and they make money off of this supposed simple lifestyle. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm I don't know what to tell people when I talk about the Amish, other than I do feel like they really pressure their kids to stay, and they put them in a position because of the level of education they give them, where if you left as an Amish kid, like, you don't have a high school diploma, you'd have to go. So yeah, they raised the barn for the phones. Yeah. Because I've seen Amish with smartphones, like they have them. Okay. They don't have a problem with smartphones. They don't have a problem with a lot of things. It's just, don't put lightning in your house. Their belief is the simpler lifestyle, the closer you are to God. And it's like, okay, well, that's really a value judgment of what's considered simple. To me, simple would be like one Wi-Fi connection and and a laptop, So, but I can't imagine, like, getting back to the theme of our live stream, deconversion. How would it be to deconvert as an Amish? Like, how would you get out of that? Okay, you're given about an 8th grade education. You're allowed to make a decision, but without the support of your family, what are you going to do for work? I just don't know how an Amish person would deconvert. I know it's happened, but yeah, I don't know. Hey, Michael, I didn't even do a roll call. What am I doing? Completely out of character. Yeah, Fred. Let's see. You got Martin, Rimmer, Triple E, Tony. Good to see you, Tony. And then I'm going to drop down to Earl's later post. So, there you go. I think and then Michael. Welcome to one and all. Yeah, it's different depending on where you're at. Like, some of them are hooked up to the power grid, and so it's like really weird. Yeah, I've watched some of these YouTubers, and the deconversion aspects are a little bit higher than what I'm used to. But yeah, in order to get out of it, there's a lot more hoops to jump through, and your family doesn't make it easy on you either. I don't know. It's really hard to watch because I can see the struggle, because everybody loves their family. There's always a family member that's a nice family member that you don't want to give up. But in order to leave some of these religions like the Amish, you're going to have to give up those family members. It's going to happen. And that's, yeah, they do the Rumspringa thing, Michael, but it's like, it really is stacked against them. They don't have a high school education, so they would have to do that first in order to get a job most of the time. They do it when they're underage for most jobs anyway. Like, it's 16, I believe, for most of them. I'm like, well, that's 2 years before they can actually, most people will hire you. So how do you make you're away from your parents and you're a minor. So it's like they do it at a time in a person's life when the odds are really stacked against them making a real informed decision about that. Now you can leave later, okay? I don't know. To me, it's a hard thing to think about. And when I looked around, when I'm driving around on my vacation, one of the religious things that I was thinking about is how difficult it would be to leave all this. Okay. And not to mention, they got to be making a crap ton of money off of this stuff because, personal expenses in such a communities are like, they're just not there. It's like you don't have to, everything belongs to the community. So it's like you have a lot of your basic needs taken care of, and it's not going to be. So yeah, it is possible to get an education later in life. If you're 16, you're trying to go into high school, but your parents won't allow it. So yes, Paul Gio was a Mennonite. I think he's talked about it. Dripping for hop or jump around. Yeah. Yeah, the women have a real hard time leaving Amish. Men have a little bit easier time, but I know when I saw documentaries on us, like the girl Amish will still wear their traditional garb, even though they're considering leaving. And so that kind of, I don't know, it just seems really weird at that time for young. You're a teenager and you're trying to figure things out for your life, and there's a lot of pressure to come into the community. For the women, it's like it's not just coming into the community. The moment they make that decision, they're going to get married. Like somebody's going to marry them. So, after learning Swedish, yeah, no idea, no concept of money that's theirs. They're frequently sexually assaulted by their fathers before they get there. Also, whether they say so or not, the marriages are kind of arranged, so they don't really have a choice about that. And even if they're not, there's like a limited pool. So, like, who are you going to pick? Sex that don't even have that. That's not saying it's good. Yeah, I don't think they have a choice either, Earl. It's a hard road for Amish women, and I don't know. I'm thinking about all this stuff while I'm on vacation. So you can take the atheist out of his home, which it's like I'm in the midst of all this, and I'm thinking about. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that I really enjoy, like Amish cooking. Oh my god, we went to a restaurant. Food was, mm, mm. But when you understand that often going to the kitchen is the one way a woman can escape the otherwise hell she's in, it gets to be a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know. Great food, good stuff, but everybody else is enjoying all this stuff, and I'm thinking, well, what's going on behind the scenes with all this stuff? I mean, it's like the only time some of these women get a break from their abusive spouses probably is when they go to work or they head to the kitchen or they have to go do some work or something like that. So, so there's that aspect. Hey, Anne Marie, good to see you. Better late than never. Yeah, I would classify Amish Mennonites as cults. There's definitely some cultic stuff. So I have no idea. I just know if you want good, regular American down home cooking, I have yet to be disappointed when a bunch of Amish women get together and cook. And it might be a survival thing too, which makes me feel bad about it. Hubs made dinner for a change. That wouldn't happen in the Amish community, Ann. There you go. There you go. Oh, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. The deconversion issue for me is why I remain an anti-theist, and my vacation gave me so many reasons, just so many reasons to be an anti-theist. Just the amount of money and stuff that just wasted on this stuff. It's just, hey, Owl, good to see you. But yeah, so I was just, I'm thinking about this whole, this every once in a while. Like I tried not to, I mean, it is what it is. And so I end up, kicking back and trying to read, had a good enjoyable time reading and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, it was spending time with the grandkids. I mean, I will never forget the face of my 2-year-old boy grandsons when he's standing underneath these giraffe. Okay, that like we're like literally 3 feet away from, and he's looking up, and his face is just lit up like he's never seen anything like that before. Of course, so it's like he had that childlike wonder. There's a lot of good memories from this trip that I'm going to keep very, very close to my heart when it comes to my family. So, they think they can fly and live on slave wages. Yeah, that's the problem. If you have a cult, see, I don't know how such cults survive. I mean, I know a lot of Pentecostals, and I am fairly certain that 25% of them go to a Pentecostal church because the food's great on potluck day. So, there's that. Long live the Oz man, yes. It's really wholesome. Yeah, it was a great memory. That one's in my head. That one's gonna stay in my head for quite some time. Is a look on his little face, because he's a great kid anyway. He's a very loving, good personality, good disposition kind of kid. And we're sitting in the back of a wagon being pulled through this park, and these giraffe are there, and he's just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, food is on point. I gotta give religious people, see, it's one of the draws, okay, because you get to eat other people's cooking for free. So honestly, there are certain songs that are going to last for quite a while from Ozzy, and Black Sabbath, Paranoid among them, and War Pigs. So, the thing with Catholics, like liberal churches, are even better because they often bring alcohol. So I'm good with that. This is also how they manipulate the homeless. Gee, Earl. Yeah, Hulk Hogan died today too. Yes, it was announced that he died today. For those of us that are Gen Xers, it's been a hard week. It's really been a hard week. Let's see, is Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, and Ozzy Osbourne all gone. Kids of the 80s and 90s, remember. So, but yeah, it's just hard week. Hard week. There's 2 other deaths this week too that I tried to remember. Yeah, your pupper's sick. Oh, I'm so sorry, Earl. Hopefully the pupper gets better. Yeah, as long as Urkel is still alive. That actor is still alive. He's appeared. What is the last time I heard about him in the news? Oh yeah, because him and I think it was him and Snoop Dogg started a marijuana line. So they started an MJ line. So it bears the Urkel name or something like that. So your cookie eating isn't shabby either. Okay, cool. If ever I'm in Germany, I'll look you up. Assuming, of course, I want to travel right now. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, this is a deconversion issue right here. Like, music. Oh my gosh, is this a deconversion issue? Like, the guilt that I used to experience from listening to Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, this is ungodly, satanic music. And in the 80s, it's like the satanic panic, kind of thing. And it was the devil's music. And I'm like, this is damn good music, though. Yes, Chuck Mangione. Yes, he's a great musician. He died today too. It's a lot of celebs dying this week. The Grim Reaper. Sometimes she's not good or he's not good, depending on how you view the Grim Reaper. Depending on what cultic tradition you want to do with the Grim Reaper. Did I do that? Yes. Local church ladies here in Lake Casa. Yeah, see, that's the thing. See, I mean, as much as I know how, like, I was in, Ronald, you're from Ohio, aren't you? I was near Dundee last week, so I'm surrounded by Amish. So you kind of probably know what I'm talking about more than ever, but I'm like enjoying all the Amish cooking and food and absolutely hating the fact that I know what's going on behind the scenes with a lot of this shit. So, because we have Amish around me too up here in Michigan, and it's like, these people, everybody thinks it's nice and cute and quaint. Yeah, Screech. Yeah, Screech was in porn. He died. So there's that. Yeah, he's a good musician. The thing is, you probably know his music, but you don't necessarily know his name. It's like, but he's played in a lot of things that people like. Oh yeah, that's his music. Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, Ronald. Like it's, it's funny, Anne Marie. I I was with my son and we went to this farm and he paid for the entrance and there was a lovely young Amish woman there taking the tickets and giving out the tickets and stuff. And his remark was, "Yeah, she's kind of cute." So I don't know if the dress really stops guys from looking. Like, I'm looking over at my son. Cute. I mean, she's Amish, dude. And he's like, "Well, yeah, but she's still cute." So, yeah, I never run out of gas. They don't have any gas stations out there. I did notice that there was a dearth of gas stations in that area. Like there was only a few. So, but yeah, I don't know if the shapeless dresses really are a turnoff. So, so Ethiopian fast food is pretty good. Mass extermination feels so good. Oh, yes, never run out of gas. Yes, but yeah, I was surprised, mostly just how religious the area was too. Um, I was glad we got to go to Canton to the Football Hall of Fame for the morning one day, and I enjoyed that. I don't think a lot of the kids enjoyed it, the littler ones, the grandkids, but there's a few of them that are into football already. But I wanted to do that one with like the guys, like all the guys going, but it didn't work out that way because the women insisted that we take everybody. So there was that. And then we went to this farm that had all these. There's like 60 acres of just animals roaming free, and you got you're in this wagon and you get to drawn by horses and you get to feed them, and it was kind of fun. And the kids love that one. That one was just priceless. All the children were just having a great time, and I got to hug a couple of the grandkids I don't normally get to see every day. So you can't make it work in your head. Okay. Next installment of Fang's Vegetable Fats. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good one. I don't know, Earl. I almost feel like I want to do a tribute to Ozzy with the next one with Fangs like crying over Ozzy because I think he would. I mean, I don't want to get morbid with Fangs. I like it when he's more funny, but I think we could do that. But as far as a religion, maybe we'll talk about which religion to go after next on Saturday. So, yeah, Satanists? You can, but I don't consider the Satanists enemies half the time. I don't really. I mean, if we want to talk about real Satanists that actually believe in Satan, yeah, I suppose we could do that one. Yeah, JWs is a good one. That's an easy cult to figure out. No blood transfusions. Total, complete, and utter bullshit. You know, there's plenty of bullshit to deal with the JWs. So, like the there you go. Yes. Yeah, it's my. I think the JWs are a fair target. Southern Baptists are always a fair target. I don't think we've done them yet. I mean, the Santas. People wash your hands. Okay. 35-year deconverted JW is Owl. I Owl. I take pot shots at everybody. We've nailed the Pentecostal sort of. As Earl has pointed out, the problem with Pentecostalism is there's so many different flavors that you could literally spend years doing artwork debunking them and having fun with them. So and she's very correct on that. So, but yeah, let's see. I think on the last list we had Jehovah's Witnesses, Southern Baptists still. Have we done Scientology yet, Earl? I can't remember. I don't know. Like, they keep changing dates. JW turnips. I think that turnip is perfect. You can't get blood out of a turnip. You know what? I'm just going to make an executive decision there, Earl. Go after the turnips. I'm picturing in my mind Fangs in a turnip patch at this moment. So. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, or dates, I don't know. We could have like some JWs are turnips and some of them are dates, like we could, or they're turnips that eat dates or change dates or cultivate dates. Vegetables, harvesting vegetables is not off the table for us. We've done this before. Yes, I love it when you're clever too, Earl. But yes, there's the blood out of the tournament and the dates, and yeah, hanging around my era. I have been thinking of asking if they want to hear a few things about Joseph Smith. Yeah, I mean, you could tell them that, just walk up to him and say, considering Joseph Smith's taste in the multiple women that he married, you'd be on his list, both of you. So it's like, I don't know if he had a particular taste. I think there was just a few things he wanted to make sure every woman had. And so there's that. But yeah, Joseph Smith is just one of those greats. I mean, what I'm thinking is, you could have turnips, crapping dates. That would be fair. I mean, that's kind of descriptive of what they do because they like change the dates when Jesus is supposed to return on the reg. Like it's been done so many times. Just like, bloodless turnips, crapping grapes. You can't get any better than that for the JWs. I don't. I honestly, I think that's what I think we would need to go with that. Yeah, you can take your bow there, Earl. That was beautiful. Oh, it's good to laugh too because it makes my pain level drop here a little bit. Get the endorphins going. turn. Yes, something like that. You're a Swede and you're offended by tournaments being, well, get over it. I think you're going to have to get over it, Rimmer. Oh, yes. I mean, uh, Michael is correct. We need to have a watchtower in this picture, because it makes it even more obvious that it's about the JWs. So, because he was baptized, I never got baptized, so not really. Okay. All right. There we go. Yes, the turnip tower. Oh, that's just dangerously close to something else. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Along the Watchtower. That's a great song for these guys. But a watchtower, a turnip, and dates is poop. That works. I'm just saying it's dangerously close to something else. They should have afros and play the guitar. Okay. I don't know. It's insulting to everybody with an afro, and I'm more concerned about that. It is a turnip tower spewing dates. Oh, this image is going all over the place, and we got to throw fangs in there somehow, trying to fix the situation as a trickster god. I think you have your work cut out for you on this one, Earl. I'm very interested to see what you would come up with this one. Yeah, I know. I mean, afros were a thing in the 70s quite a bit. I remember like half of a good chunk of people, probably a quarter of people had afros. Like it was anybody who had curly hair seemed to go with them. So it was when I was a kid. That was there's several things that remain in my mind from the 70s, and that's one of them. So got bumping in. Okay, there we go. So we got Earl going. We'll have the JWs up next. Executive decision on that one. It's a good one to bounce back with, I think, Earl. It's easy. You can do some research. You might be able to put in some stuff that we haven't even thought of later too. So JC might have been anything. Like it. I don't know if anybody remember the old movie Saved. I remember the opening line of that where the one kid says, "I don't think he was white," and then the other person, "Well, of course he's white." So, and it's like about a picture of Jesus, and it's like I remember watching that movie as a Christian and laughing my ass off because there was so much truth in it, and then and then because there was a lot of observations in it that were downright true at that point, and I was a Christian at the time and agreed with them. Like the like the one kid who is gay gets sent to a house, and it's like that's not for them, that's for us. It's like to get that person out of our community so that they don't embarrass us, and that was so true. That was so true. So, both of them are laughable, but Saved was a secular movie made by secular people. About it's about a fundamentalist like school, Christian school, and some of the students. And the main character gets pregnant, and so she has to hide that all her life. So yeah. JC, you're angry about JC not being white. Yeah, the tomato pope has been a while. That was the last one. We've done Pentecostals. We had the here. the problem, as Earl pointed out to me, is she was really struggling with Pentecostals because um, they're all over the place, and she is very, very correct about that. Um, so the closest we came with Pentecostals was this little picture where you've got all a weird Pentecostal cult kind of thing, which kind of encapsulated a whole bunch of stuff. Um, uh, and so it points out the Pentecostal weirdness, but there's so many flavors of Pentecostalism that it would be very, very difficult to do something specific. So, yeah, me and Earl had a long discussion about Pentecostals because she was having a lot of trouble trying to figure them out. And to be fair, they are hard to figure out. And so this is what she got out of it. And I love this picture, by the way, because I think it encapsulates the whole thing. There's, Pentecostals have this experience, and then everything gets focused on the experience. That's really what it's about, and it nails it. So, yeah. So it really did do that. So, but of course, I think though, when I look at more recent pictures, like this one we revealed a couple days ago, this is how Asho's devil dog came about. So I still love this one, Earl. I really do. I mean, it encapsulates. Yeah, that's the thing about Pentecostals, Curve. It's. I was in Pentecost for 30 years of my life, and there was all kinds of weird groups. And the problem with all of them is they all claim to be the true Pentecostal church. And so it gets really, really difficult to nail Pentecostalism down, other than they believe in the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Most of them do. And it's, yeah. Speaking in tongues, snakes, extremes, doctrines of the end times. There's extreme practices of holiness, like there was one church, that taught there's only one proper sex position, and so on and so forth. I mean, there are Pentecostal cults that are very, very controlling. Like every aspect of a person's life is controlling. And then you go to church and that's where everybody gets wild and crazy. So it's that kind of thing. And so I understand Earl's frustration at trying to make some art on that, but I think the JWs would be a little bit easier. It's all over the place. So Pentecostals just very much focus on experiences, like with God. So glad that's over. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Now, remember, you can't say that too loud, or Sir Sick will show up and steal the whiskey. So you you gotta be careful there. So yeah, I don't want to waste the booze. So as Harvey says, and between the Pentecostals needing it to get their experiences and Sir Sick trying to hoard it all for himself, we might have a problem there. So it's fair. The thing with Pentecostals is they are all. If there's a common thread, is there's a belief that God still does stuff like it does in the Bible. Like miracles are real, speaking in tongues is real, prophecy is real, and God still does that stuff. Outside of that, you get doctrines all over the place. Big proponents of various tribulation theories and millennial theories of the end times. They get into prophecy in the end times a lot. Very apocalyptic. Very much try to grab into all of that stuff. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. They were kind of a weird cult all their own. So there's that aspect of it. But weirdness isn't centered in the Pentecostal church. It's just I've never been to a Pentecostal church that didn't have some weird belief. Threats of hell. I mean, Facebook, you had to remind them I have no fear of hell and I don't do good because of what I'd rather do it because, yes. You have to, Anne-Marie, you really don't have to say any more of that. I do it because it's good. It's good for me. Somebody asked the question, I mean, if you could steal without any consequences, would you do it? My answer is no, because anytime I steal or violate the rights of another, I always feel uncomfortable. And that's bad for me. It creates a lot of anxiety in me. I wouldn't steal because I don't want the anxiety for myself. It's beneficial to me not to steal. So I have never understood that argument. Now that the farther I would get away from Christianity and the authoritarian ethics that they have, and the fear factoring with hell, the more I begin to understand morality is best when it's taken out of the religious context. So, and that's just me, but you know, I don't know if we have a symbol, the carrot. See, this is the thing about being a new religion, Triple E. We're kind of new and we're trying to figure things out. But I would say the picture of fangs you have there in the middle on the screen right now is my mascot. Like Fangs is the mascot of the channel. I mean, like Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe is for the skeptic, Fangs is for me. So I love the fact that we have a vampiric bunny who's very cute, who doesn't actually drink blood, who drinks religious corruption from vegetables instead. So I've always found that awesome. So there's that. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you. Evening, Ed. Hope was all well. Here's a few bucks. Keep you Fangs nibbled for all of us. Praise Fangs. Eat more carrots. Outstanding. Hey, Evan. All health active. All of them decided to do Zoom meetings today. Oh, there you go. They are kind of right about the Christmas thing, yeah. Like the JWs don't put Jesus in this God status. I'll give them that credit for that, because if you read the New Testament about what Jesus says about himself, he never puts himself in that God status. It takes a lot of conjecture and speculation to put him there. So, there you go. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Yes, it's almost as doing good has a reward all of its own. Yes, here's the thing about it too. Doing wrong, I don't find it when I like harm somebody else to be a good feeling, and it makes me anxious, and that hurts me. I think too much is focused on, if you weren't being watched, you would do evil. And it's like, no, I don't think I would. And I don't, I don't believe anybody's watching me good chunk of my life, but I still do good things because it's good for my psychological well-being. It's good for me developing characters that make me a better human being. It's when nobody's watching and you still do the right thing that I think is the real test. If you always think somebody's watching, then you're not doing it because you're a good person. You're doing it because you're afraid of punishment. And I don't think that's a good way to live morally. You should be living morally because it's a good thing. Yeah, he's a great mascot. I'm going to keep him as our mascot. But he's also a great way of illustrating a lot of things about religion. we have straight up made up doctrine and theology that is just as coherent as any theology you'll hear from one of the major religions. So I'm allowed to use my theologian skills again. Yeah, he's never tortured. See, the thing is, Fangs is a trickster god and a fertility god. So you could come up with a symbol that's more along those lines. Like there's, trickster god symbols and fertility symbols. So it's not like you can't find something. So, the holy binky. I mean, yeah, we could all buy pink binkies. I think that would work. It might be a good symbol. I mean, I don't know. Don't like the Mormonians cry, please. They make a horrible sound when they cry. It's weird that you say that. Like, I play a lot of video games, Kurt. Mostly ones that involve story. Like, I love good stories, and I love when I get to participate in the story and make decisions about how the story is going to end. And so video game platforms are perfect for that, especially like open world. And I love the story of Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2. And I find myself, whenever I play Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't rob people. Like, I'm just unless I'm working with the gang doing some scheme, I don't do that. Like, I get into gunfights and I defend myself. But I'm I don't know. I find myself even not stealing in there. I'm like, unless it's like, okay, I found a chest in the middle of nowhere and nobody seems to own it. Yeah, I'll take the stuff out of it. But I agree with you. I find myself having a hard time doing bad things, even in video games. I would agree with that. Like, no matter how much I try to play a villainous character, they end up doing good shit. It's like, I have a hard time playing the villain. I really do. So, although I've had some, characters, but there's always like, there has to be some redeeming feature to my villain. Like, what's a good example from video games that everybody probably knows about, or most people do, like Skyrim and the Dark Brotherhood. Like, my assassins always have this code of honor. Like, they're not going to kill innocent people. They fulfill their contracts, but they're really honorable about it. So they minimize collateral damage, that sort of thing. It's like, no matter what I do, I find myself, and these are video, it's like, they're not even real people, but it's still like, this is not the thing to do them. So, yeah, South Park did an episode on Trump, and Trump was not pleased. So, accused them of not being relevant for 20 years, even though I think about 5 years ago he said they made a good point. So, it's hard to say. Hey, Dave, good to see you. I saw that I watched Paula Gia's recent video, and he mentions Bigfoot. So if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. So Fourth Mall might have binkies. All right, we'll have to look. See, this is the thing, Earl. When I'm trying to pick this company for Merck, I know what I want, and I know, yeah, sweaters, t-shirts, coffee cups, those are all great things, but I want stuff that's like unique stuff too. So I don't know. Wasn't it oh gosh, who's the YouTuber? He stopped saying it, but because he used to say it, because we know surprise butt sex is the best butt sex. Oh gosh. Jingles used to say that a long time ago. The mighty Jingles. So he still does stuff, although he's had his own battles with health too. Yeah, so I have not yet, Kerf, I have not yet been able to Red Dead Redemption 2 low honor run. I have not been able to do it. I don't have the mindset for it. Like, in order to do a low honor run, you just have to be constantly thinking, what's the worst thing I could possibly do? You know, how lazy can I be at camp? You know, like, you gain honor in that game just by doing chores at camp. And the problem is you also gain Deadeye. And so it's a great way to make Deadeye, but it's like you're also gaining honor. And it's like, if you want to do a low honor run, you have to find other ways to build up things. So yeah, it's just, I have not yet been able to do a low honor play where, you know, you get the wolf scenes instead of the deer scenes. So just, I haven't been able to do it. So you're not alone on that. Atheist from thoughts and prayers of the religious. Yes, that's correct. He's an atheist god as well, so he doesn't believe in himself. Yes, that's the thing, Wolf. It's like this is a very interesting discussion because I always get the bullshit of like various things, with the low honor run in RDR2, and it's like when I play games, I have a hard time being dishonorable. It's like, and so when I hear the accusation that atheists don't have morality, then why the hell am I still doing? Why do I think this way? So, but I have to acknowledge a couple of people tonight. See, Evan's been a member for 5 months. I want to thank Kevin for a second donation. Thank you, sir. So there's that. I want to make sure I acknowledge that. And the craziest among you is Asho, who's been a member of this channel for 21 months. If I had Dave's You Rock video, I'd play it right now, but I don't. I got to come up with something like that. But, all hail Fangs and Bigfoot. So there you go. And the lovely Earl has been a member of the channel for 11 months. I got a lot of longtime members tonight. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate you guys. Keeps me going. More morally than anything else. Good moral support. So they'll send me product samples. Okay. See, I'm looking at them hard because I want something where I can make anything. Like, it'd be nice if, I don't know if they do this yet, but because I kind of looked at it, but I haven't had a chance to really deep dive it yet. So, but it's like, I would love it if they just had products that people could put whatever artwork we send on whatever they want to put it on, You don't like killing the Murlocs in the World of Warcraft? Yeah, I see. That's the thing. Why is it there's an innate human moral sense that I think most of us have. I won't say all because, neurodivergence is a thing. And there are some people, I would say, that when you look at their neurology, they just have been born without a conscience. Like, that's a fault in their neurology. But it's like, I have a hard time doing evil shit, even in games. It's like I have a hard time being a villain. And I can play a gray, like, character that's kind of an anti-hero. I can do that all day long. Okay, where every once in a while I can make a questionable moral decision because it's a questionable moral decision and nothing like that. But an overtly evil decision, I think the closest I ever came to saying I did an overtly evil decision in a video game was in Fallout 3 when I blow up Megaton. Like when I go to Tenpenny Tower and I blew up Megaton. It's like, that's the closest thing I can think of to think I did an evil thing. And I only did that a couple times. Every other time I saved Megaton. So it's like, okay. So it's like, I don't understand how people can have fun being evil. So I just have never gotten that. So I just have a hard time doing it. Smoking the Bandit. How does it feel? I maybe I don't think he has a sense of humor anymore. Pastor John. Oh, well, I okay. Um, I'll be there probably. I'm taking tonight off. I was scheduled to work, but last night was awful because of all the work that's been going on in my mouth. I had a hard time concentrating because I had to pain medicate on the regular basis because of the pulling of my teeth last week, and it's healing, but it's making the rest of my mouth hurt, and I had a hard time concentrating. So there's that. But yes. I got to leave, Evan. Have a good one. Digital products like phone. Okay. See, that's kind of what I'm looking for, Earl. I want them to have products that they can put our stuff on and then just leave it up to the person who buys it what they want on what. Um, I mean, I don't have a problem with us creating a few things that are our items that we created for the channel, but it's like, yeah, I'm definitely, I want, if you want a weird item like a binky and put on the little white part on the binky, put Fangs' face, I want them to be able to do that. So, so I am going to take a look at that this weekend. I'm hoping we'll have something set up very soon, as soon as I can. Anyway, I don't want to make any date promises. Yeah, it's not dry socket. I had all four of my wisdom teeth pulled when I was in my early 20s because they were bad. Great design there, God. And one of them developed dry socket. So I know what that is and I know what it feels like. And that's not what this is. This is like, it's not healing quickly and it's just spreading the pain around the rest of my mouth. And I've got another dentist appointment on Monday to work on something else. So, yeah, we can chat after stream. But yeah, I want to get some Merc up soon. We have a lot of good art from Earl, and it's some of you have requested it that you want it yourself and put it on stuff. So yeah, Fangs Binky would be great. I think that would be awesome. Actual military. Yeah, it's weird. Isn't that weird? I Yeah, I don't know if I got some sort of, or it's just not healing well. Um, the dentist put 2 stitches in this teeth, the area where he pulled the teeth, and I think they came out too quickly. Like they were gone in 2 days. Like they dissolved and disappeared. Like they just came undone in 2 days, and they're supposed to last a little longer than that. So I think that's kind of what happened. And I'm going to have him take a look at it on Monday. But I feel better. It's just I haven't been sleeping like straight through because I have to wake up, take some painkillers, go back to bed. At work, it was a nightmare yesterday because I was just like couldn't concentrate on what I was doing. So I'm like, I'm going to take the night off tonight and rest and get some relaxation. So yeah, that's what I thought too. But they were gone in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So I don't know if they dissolved quicker than they're supposed to, or they wouldn't put in properly or whatever. My dentist is usually really good. I love him because I very rarely feel pain afterwards when he does his work, but this time it just didn't turn out well. So get a well, thanks for supporting my livelihood by going to Walmart, but yes, that's the thing. I'm when it comes to Merc, I want everybody to have what they want. The Rabyd Atheist brand. I'm still pursuing a couple goals this year, which I got to really get an outro done and a couple intros done. so that I can pull some stuff from live streams and cap it off. And that saves me a lot of work in doing actual videos too, because then all that stuff's canned and I can just focus on the text of the video and get that done. And it's a lot easier for me. So just trying to create some tools that'll make it easier and generate some more money. But I have a couple of goals for this channel. One is to be making enough money to say it's an extra paycheck. And then the other one is to get to 10K subs. And I've been kind of lackadaisical on that. So I just have OCD. See, the thing is, I like my dentist because he's actually really, really good. Most of the time, this is the first time I've had a problem with his work. So, and I've been going there for like 5 years, 6 years. So, but this is like the first time. So I'm going to ask him a lot of questions, and he'll probably be just as mortified about it too. Like, he's very apologetic, and like when he was pulling out the teeth, he like literally accidentally took off one of my crowns. So, and he like reattached it, did all that for free. Like he said, yeah, that's my fault, but those two teeth were so close together. I'm not sure how he would have pulled the teeth without taking off the crown. So, I've heard that my 4 wisdom teeth came out early and they were crooked. They were pushing on other teeth, but they removed all 3 of them, or all 4 of them. And one of them had a twisted root. So that was even more fun for me. But yeah, those caused a lot of pain. And one of them got a dry socket in it. And that incapacitated me for quite a while. So it's why I don't screw around with my teeth. I try to get things done as quickly as possible because, you can die from this shit. Okay, so you can literally die from it. So, but yeah, I'm going to get that work done. The other teeth that he's supposed to work on is on the other side, and it's an old crown from like 25 years ago. It's just disintegrating. It's not that I don't have any cavities. It's just old dental work that's 15 to 25 years old. It's starting to get chipped and stuff. So they're trying to fix all that stuff. But yeah, I've learned a long time ago that I don't like to put up with pain. And the most painful things I've ever had have been involving my mouth. So my teeth in particular. God is like wanting a daddy to protect you even when you're grown up, so you invent one. I can buy that. Let's see. Yep. In our small town, I have a young, very good-looking male dentist. Women come to to get drilled and capped. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I don't know. I'm thinking about a different hygienist. I don't know. The one I've had for the last 2 times, she's been kind of snarky with me. So she's not as good looking as the other ones I've had. So 3 Stooges were the best dentists. I remember that skit. That's hilarious. All right. May or may not have my hygienist choice may or may not have anything to do with how young they are and how good looking they are. Circumcise the carrots? Okay, fair enough. That's 4. I need 1 more. And the current hat leading is the newsboy. So just so you know, so if you don't want the newsboy, you might want to vote before you donate. So make sure you circumcise your carrots. Make sure you guys hit the like button too. I have noticed there's been an upswing in people watching these streams after the stream is over. So people are kind of watching them as podcasts later. So we do actually sometimes cover topics. I try to stay with what's in chat most of the time because you guys bring up some good subjects. So, what? Okay, rumor. Stirrups, yes. Oh my goodness. Circumcise your carrots. Oh my goodness. Yes. Make sure you do that. You know what? I haven't checked in a while. What is the membership level currently? Because I take gifted memberships too, so I don't know what the current membership level is. Oh, we're way down. We're down to 35. So we haven't had a bunch of people donate memberships in a while. So that means a couple of the emojis are not available to members. So there you go. All right. Circumcise your carrots. Let's see. Nobody else talking about anything actually constructive. Okay, throwing money at a coffee cup. Okay, you understand. All right. Yeah, I have thought about that too. I may get to that point with my back teeth in particular because if I don't have enough for a chewing surface, I may have to get an implant or two just to just to make that happen. I was not a very good boy with my teeth when I was in my 20s, so just like hey Kevin, thank you very much, man. I actually count. So what's leading? The newsboy hat is still in front. I will count that, but here we go. Rabyd Atheist is now the newsboy. So thank you very much for everybody who voted. Who was second? Red, white, and blue cowboy. You know, most of you apparently don't want me to be like a real fedora wearing atheist. Because the fedora hardly gets votes anymore. It's hilarious, but yes. So, but welcome, citizen. Welcome to the Rabyd Nation. So, yeah, we'll have to. Well, I guess the rest of my eye is missing 6. Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I'm getting a lot of the stuff that's wrong with my teeth, Earl. As a dental hygienist, you probably understand this. Is like I've been taking good care of my teeth since like age 31, but before that, I didn't really give a damn, and I'm still kind of living with some of the consequences of that. Um, so it's kind of that's what's happening. Like I'm also getting older, and my teeth are getting brittle. Like this last one that had to be pulled, there's no cavity there; it just shattered. The back half of it just shattered, and they had to pull it because the teeth were below the gum line, the edge of it, and it was cutting into my gums. So it's like I'm getting older, so it's shattered. They just shattered, and so it's kind of I'm just I'm at the point where if I lose another tooth, one side or the other, I'm going to have to get an implant just to have something to do that. So it's one of those getting older things for me. So um, yeah, it's very common. Yeah, I'm glad that's very common. But I've been trying to do very good by my teeth since my early 30s, and part of it is good dental work all the time. I'll spend more money on a dentist than I will a doctor because dentists just save me a lot of problems. Okay, there you go. Yes. A lot of my filling work is old filling work too. And I remember reading about that they start to crack teeth. And that's what's happening on some of my older fillings. So, yes. So, see you later, Fred. Appreciate you, man. And all Australians that frequent my channel. I have several. Yeah, getting older sucks at times. Yes. So, but yes, so I'm at the stage of my life where I'm just fighting a losing battle against a lot of things. Michael. Yeah, I feel like fangs here. Help. Help. See that see the reason I want Merc is I want this fangs holding the world with the help on something. I want it on something, and and that's what I want. So it's reactive, they expand and contrast and act like, yeah, and that's what I've read. Like a lot of fillings expand and contract, and your teeth don't expand it. Your natural parts of your teeth don't expand and contract as like the fillings do, and so it cracks them. And being from the Great White North, I know exactly the analogy you're talking about here. It becomes like a crack in the pavement that gets filled with ice up here, and then it expands because the ice expands and pushes stuff apart. And so that's kind of what's happening with my back teeth. Like they have old fillings in them, and they're just cracking my teeth. And so, but I'm getting older, and I expect stuff like this. So, but to me, keeping my teeth healthy is very worth it because it keeps me away from a lot of other health problems. I don't think people realize that much. So, yeah. See you later, Kevin. Appreciate you. I'm about ready to call it good too. Um, so here probably another 15 minutes. I want to wear the hat for a little while, seeing you guys paid for it. Let's see. Trying to remember. I have anything else? Some of the other artwork over the year. See, here's another one that I want on a shirt or something. I think this one would be hilarious on the shirt. So I'll be hanging out for another 10 minutes or so. See you later, Martin. Appreciate you, man. Do fangs. See, because this goes back to the actual doctrine of the Fangs, Church of Fangs, about how Fangs is actually the father of Jesus. So, yeah, okay. It's etched and mechanically binds to the tooth itself, keeping it structurally sound. Yeah, that's what I've heard. So, and that's probably it's my older dental work teeth that are having problems. So it's probably what's happening. It's the metal fillings that they used to use. So I have those. They also make those metal fillings have always made my teeth very sensitive to cold, which sucks. So, because there's nothing better on a hot day than something with ice in it. But yes. But yes. But I want this on a shirt because the doctrine of fangs is one of my better theological moments. Yeah, teeth crack anyway. They're physical objects that are subject to heat and cold, and they get cracks in them just like anything else. Can't really do anything about it. I'm glad Earl's the kind of hygienist that realizes that sometimes what happens to a person's teeth really isn't their fault. Like it's dental practice has changed so much in the last 150 years. Like we've gone from, put a string around it and haul it with a horse to to what we do now. If I go back even 40 years, oh my God, the nightmares people had about dentists back then. Um, Local anesthesia was a big thing that solved a lot of problems with dentistry. Um, New resins are stringy strong. You used to only be able to use resin composite on front teeth. Oh, yeah. It's like my dentist is younger, and people ask me why I want him to have the latest techniques, and most of his work has been great. But I think I don't know what happened with this. I've never had an extraction from him before, so there's that. Uh, yeah, teeth are not proof of intelligent design. If there's a greater proof for evolution than teeth, I don't know what it is. Teeth, you can tell that we have a lot of leftovers from stuff that we don't use anymore. So they haven't used Novocaine in 100 years. Yeah, well, that's a big one. That was a big move though for a while. Like, but just having a local anesthetic where you inject somebody with a painkiller was a big step forward for a lot of people with dentistry. People wouldn't go because of the pain involved. Like that's how sensitive your mouth is. They would just, people just wouldn't go to the dentist because of the pain until it got so bad that they had to. So now it's like we can local you up. Yeah, I've been a honey candy bar. Yep. We have a highly subsidized dental for people with autism here right now. It is free because of the max charge for otherwise it's like 25 per visit. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. This one, Earl, I looked at the x-ray. This is the quickest extraction I ever had because the roots were basically tapered inward. Like, it took him literally 10 seconds to take it out. And so my other ones were more difficult because I had one with a twisted root, and that was not fun. Look like they're running. Yeah, I've had that once. But this one wasn't that bad. I just think it's weird that the stitches came out in just a couple of days. Like something happened there that I'm not quite aware of, or the dentist wasn't aware of. I've never had a problem with this guy before, so this would be a first. So, yeah, okay. So yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm talking with my dentist Monday, so I've got the other tooth to work on, but it's kind of disintegrating even as I speak. Like it's been cracking, and the last month it's been getting worse. So, and he's well aware of that. So when I went in last Tuesday, he looked at it and said, "Yeah, it's starting to break up." I didn't give me anything for pain. Motrin's done wonders. Ibuprofen does wonders for me. I'm very pain tolerant. So if it's bothering me, it's pretty severe, but this isn't dry socket. It's just hurts. I know dry socket pain because I've had that. So, and that's usually debilitating for me. So, but the Motrin worked for a long time. It's just these last few days. It's like I don't know. It's just not. Might be building up an immunity to some stuff. I have that problem with painkillers. Like I have to change them every once in a while. Change dosages, move things around. It just doesn't work. Oh, yeah, that's some pretty heavy shit there. Moxicillin and Motrin. Okay, so yeah, I may have to try that. Works better than Vitakin. Okay, fair enough. All right. I read your jokes. The thing is, Michael, some of your jokes do indeed hurt worse than the tooth pain. They're bad. So, okay. All right, Tylenol. All right, there we go. So Tylenol and Motrin together. Fair enough. Got Motrin. I'll have to pick up some Tylenol. Yeah, that's the thing. Pain relievers have always had a very limited effect for me. So I don't know. Um, The problem with anything stronger, of course, is then you're just out of it, and I don't like that. Totally safe. 6 to 8 hours. Okay. All right. See, because I'm one of those guys. Back in the day, they used to have that commercial about, one aspirin is good enough for any person of any size, and yeah, my immediate response to that, yeah, bullshit. You're not 6'4" and 275 pounds. I take one aspirin and it's a joke. What's this? Oh, so I just it's I I have a high pain tolerance until I don't, and then it's just see you later, Triple E. Appreciate you. Bunch of everything for it to work. It makes it scary fast. Yes, it's kind of me too. I often have to take more than the recommended dosage because otherwise it just doesn't work. So, but yeah, let's see. Seeing we're talking about asshole, I still think this is the cutest devil putty ever. Tylenol blocks the pain receptors, but you need them both to get the best outcome. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't get in. You guys are much more educated on pain relievers than I am because I very rarely take them. Like it goes back to my days playing football because when I was playing football, I felt I got very close to being addicted to painkillers. And so since then, I've been very, very leery, and I often put up with pain rather than do anything about it. So I don't really deal with pain relievers until it gets to stuff like this. So much more knowledgeable than me. Um, Also, I tend to hurt myself without noticing. So that tells you how well my pain receptors work sometimes in certain places of my body. And instead of narcotics for that very reason. Yes. Yeah, narcotics. My problem with narcotics is like, what's the point? Okay, I'm not even conscious. Yeah. Right. Well, I will do both, Earl. I will try that and I will let you know how that works out because I need something that I can take like right before work and know that it's going to keep all of that away, keep the inflammation and the other stuff away while I'm working. And so I'm more interested in just managing it to a certain point and just being, I tolerate a little bit of pain. 2 extra strength Tylenol. Okay. Yeah, I already take a lot of meds anyway when I have pain. So 4 Motrin and 2 extra strength Tylenol. That's what that is. That sounds about that's the level of Motrin I already take, Earl. So I just have to add the Tylenol. Flying high. You're playing Ozzy Osbourne flying high as you're taking painkillers. Oh, hey Marie. Oh, I am going to so miss Ozzy. I am going to miss him. Yeah, I've already I'm already taking like 4 Motrin every time I take them, so I just have to add the 2 extra strength Tylenol. We'll see what that does. I'll pick some of that stuff. I got to go over to my daughter's house for breakfast tomorrow, and it might be a good time to stop by the local store and pick up something. So I'm still waiting on the 2 lights for my car, and my mechanic hasn't called me, and too many things happening at once for my autistic self. So, but yeah. But I think I'm going to call it a night, folks. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate that. Appreciate the advice, Earl. I do, coming from somebody who deals with this on a regular basis. Thank you. But yeah, it's been a good time tonight. I'm glad everybody came just to hang out. I mean, this is the Deconversion Hangout, so if we just hang out and talk, and we don't have a bunch of theists harassing us, I'm fairly good with that. So appreciate everybody who is here tonight. Appreciate all the folks that donated tonight. Appreciate all that. It just really eases my mind a little bit more about all the things that are happening in my life right now. It's more of an emotional thing. To me, money is always like, if I have enough where I don't have to be anxious about things, I'm fairly good. So I appreciate all of that, folks, and appreciate some of you who have been members for so long, guys. Appreciate you, Asho, Earl, all of you that have been members for more than a few months and that have stuck with it. I do appreciate that. So are we get? This is a valid point that Fang should be a patron saint for Dennis. We might look at that angle for selling some of our merch to Dennis, because he has got a fairly good set of fangs, and they look to be very, very healthy. So, Sir Rabbit Whisperer. Oh my goodness. All right, but thanks everybody. Appreciate all of you. I'm going to try to get some rest to the rest of the day. I took the night off because I'm tired and my mouth hurts a little bit, and it'll probably hurt more and up and down all night. So thank you. Oh yes, and Captive Desk. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks, Dave, for being a member for 6 months. I appreciate that. I do. So thank you very much. So see y'all later. As always, make sure Fangs blesses your carrots. Make sure he nibbles on your heart for your sins, to make sure that you are pure yourself. Nom nom, make sure that you are doing all the things that you need to do to have a happy life with Fangs. And following the Fang Damnants is, of course, optional, but it might be helpful. So thanks for that. And as always, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So make sure you're taking all your time, money, and opportunities and spending them on yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by, and I will catch all of you next time.